Hey guys, welcome back to whatever this is, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about my 3 favorite versions of Tetris. So, I recently picked up a game of Tetris in this whole episode that sparked this whole idea, where I popped it in for 5 minutes, what meant to be 5 minutes, and I lost a whole hour. Because Tetris is one of those games that is objectively the best game ever made. There's nothing else like it. It's almost perfect in every regard. It's not a matter of if it's good or bad, but just objectively, like, what makes a good game. Tetris just hits all the right notes, and it is just about perfect. So when it comes to Tetris, these are 3 of my favorite versions of Tetris that I've come across. And they are all ones you should check out. All of them are highly unique and very different. And yes, it's just falling blocks that you have to line up and delete themselves. But each of these versions is highly unique and is incredibly good. Picking just one is still a great time. But all 3 of them are just so different. I just wanted to take the time in this episode to talk about these 3 versions of Tetris. And in my opinion, these are 3 of the best Tetris games ever put to console. So the first game here, to kick everything off, Tetris Effect. This game did come out quite a while ago. The physical copy literally just came out recently. It is absolutely phenomenal if you've never played it, as it increases the difficulty based on how well you're doing, which is really impressive. And as it does that, it also kind of messes with you as the music keeps changing. So the better you're doing, the more intense the music gets. The more intense the music is, the more focused you get on it. The whole game is just meant to kind of mess with you, and it has like the coolest visual effects of like black with the neon colors and everything exploding, and you just have this constant beat on your butt the whole time, and it just entrances you. It is almost perfect Tetris game. Because, in my opinion, there is no perfect Tetris game. There are just really good Tetris games. And this is one of the best ones. It was made by one of my favorite studios, Q Entertainment. They also did the Rez game, which is easily one of my favorite Dreamcast games for just what it is and just how unique and fun it is. They took that basic core concept of like messing around with all the colors and then put it into this beautiful gem of a game. And it is absolutely wonderful. Fully worth your time. Literally on everything. I just really wanted a physical copy on the Switch. The second version of Tetris, I don't really see a lot of people talk about this one, probably because, from my understanding, there was like a copyright thing where like it was just a timing issue where like the Nintendo license was kind of ending. And by saying Nintendo, I'm talking Tetris DS. Tetris DS is literally one of the best Tetris games Nintendo published. This is Nintendo made, as far as my understanding, considering how much Nintendo music is thrown into this. They made this game for like a hot minute when like the Wi-Fi connection was just starting to drop, and this was like, hey, it's a Wi-Fi game, you can play Tetris on your DS, hooray! And that was a cool feature. It turns out its best feature was just getting entranced in this game while you were listening to old Nintendo music, and it's completely remixed. And like, I popped this game in just to like hear some of it, and I lose 2 hours. I don't know how it happened. I was just really mad about it, really. And it was incredible. The music, the different modes they came up with, they had like a push and pull where you use the DS screen in really unique ways to try and play Tetris. It was kind of fun. It was just kind of weird at the same time, but it was really neat because of it. And I know it wasn't printed that long, just because like you really didn't see it on shelves for too long before it just like poofed. It kind of came out, crashed real hard. I would assume it sold well, but maybe that's why they just didn't make it that well. But I knew a lot of people who liked it, but like not too many people kept copies of it. Because it's Tetris. Everyone's like, oh, Tetris is all the same. I'm like, no, they're not. This one is like, at the time when this one was made, before Connect was made, this was the superior Tetris. Easily, hands down, I will fight you. I really don't want to fight anybody. Please don't at me. Anyways, on to the last game, which is kind of the most unique one, and I'm really glad I ended up actually acquiring this version of this Tetris game. And I've mentioned this to friends, and everybody's just blindsided that it even exists in the first place, because I didn't know about this until years ago when this game was actually launching onto the PS4, and they mentioned this game, and I'm like, wait, that's a thing, and why don't I own it? So if you can't tell, obviously, from my lovely background here, I love Cardcaptor Sakura. There was a Cardcaptor Sakura Tetris game on the PlayStation 1, and it isn't just a Cardcaptor Sakura game, it is Cardcaptor Sakura the Grandmaster Tetris. This is one of the best Tetris games made at that time, and I would still say it is, because it's just highly unique that it's just covered in card captors, just dripping with it, with the flavor. Like, they put in the story. It's all based off the second season, where she had to make the Sakura cards, and they base it all off that, and they still made it where you had to capture the cloud cards in like really unique ways by having these little orbs that you had to like wipe those out, and that's how you would beat the level and move on. So the main campaign is really easy, but if you want to get good at it, this is one of the hardest Tetris games ever made. From my understanding, it makes adults cry. I'm not that good at Tetris, but I have given this game a college try, and it is a really good game, and I really enjoyed every minute I had with it. Especially the fact that they made it card captors. They actually followed the story of card captors. Yeah, it's nothing more than a couple still images, and then, you know, it'd have the voice lines from the show, which was really cool. And it was on the PlayStation 1, and it was just a really, really solid Tetris game. And it always was weird to me that this Card Captors game never got brought over. They could have easily brought it over as Card Captors, which was the English name, Card Captors, the Tetris, and just dumped it out. Just translate it, didn't put any of the voice work into it, and just dump it out. I don't think it would have been that hard. It could have been a $20 game at the time. It would have been the year 2000, 2001, so like the PS2 just came out and there's still a market for PlayStation 1. It never came out. I thought it would have come out if you asked me. But it is really cool. A friend of mine who's living in Japan actually sent like a care package back, and they sent that specifically for me, which was incredible. And I thank them so much for it. And so many people, when I posted about it, were just like, wait, that's a game? And I'm like, yes it is, and it's a really good one. As I do enjoy a good Tetris now and again, and these are the three I usually will spend my time with. I'm still working my way through this one. It's a really unique one. I do like it. I'm not that far in it, so we'll have to see how it goes. And like at times, like translation becomes an issue, but like overall, it's just more as long as I can navigate the menu, I'm perfectly fine. That's the only concern if you pick up this one. Just navigating the menus can be a bit of an issue, but you should be all right. So anyways, guys, that's it for this week's episode. I just wanted to talk about these Tetris games. I didn't know where I was going with it, and hopefully you learned something new, some cool versions of Tetris to check out. I know it's Tetris, but yes, this is, again, objectively the best game ever. If you do not agree, then you need to find somebody who's really good at Tetris and watch what happens to them. It is kind of unwieldy what happens to people when they play Tetris for those who are really good at Tetris. Like, I'm decent. I would like to think I'm decent anyways. But there are people who are far, far, far higher skilled than I am. And Tetris is just one of those games where if you watch somebody who's really good at it, getting like literally a blink of a second to watch the blocks drop and they're still able to hold the game going, that is top tier. It's just Tetris, and it's incredible to watch. But anyways, guys, that's it for this week's episode. Hope you learned something here, and take care. Have a good one.